All right, guys. We got Reynor in the bottom side of the map, Cure in the top left. And this is actually a series from a few weeks ago. We are going to be casting it to the Wardy 2025 matchup, lower bracket match between these two. And I'm really excited because Cure has massively stepped up his ZVT. A guy who could not honestly hold a candle to Reynor's level in this matchup. If we go back a year, 2 years, he was just not fast enough, could not keep up. But Cure has found his element. It feels like he just has a deep understanding of where to put his screen, how to lean on the Zerg without overcommitting and just doing like really simple all-ins, and actually just making Zerg's life difficult. And I really feel he stepped it up. I do think Reynor also, in the last couple of weeks, has become a god of this matchup, and most matchups really. But this was played, you know, just a few weeks ago, and I'm really curious to see what the evolution is like. Is this the Reynor that just runs circles around him and overwhelms him? Do we see Mutalisks? Do we see the Hydra builds that he hasn't used that much against, like, in his recent matchups, actually? He hasn't used a lot of Hydra builds in the last 2 weeks, though they were a big part of how he was beating Clem, if we go back maybe 3 or 4 months. SCV's going to rotate. SCV's going north. So you're saying this isn't a live stream, Pig? No, definitely not a live stream. That's what I'm saying. Why is he going gas pool before expand? This is a hatchery first. Standard hatch first. Sorry, I just didn't show it. Go down. You kind of freaked me out for a second. I was like, what are we looking at? I was like, is this a gas pool? Am I crazy? And I'm like, nope. You seeing things, dog. He's going to pull 2 workers off gas, take himself a quick third. Ooh, what do you guys think about this third? I think it's probably the one you always take. And then I guess the advantage of expanding towards Terran is your 4th is way far away from Terran. Your 5th up here is quite nice. Gotta deal with this Reaper. Pull the drone away. Oh, gotta pull it away, man. Okay, Reynor got a bit greedy there. Almost loses a drone. He's gonna rotate those drones around to better mineral patches. Keep the orange one down here. Away from the edge would be good. Small problem is he doesn't have 2 workers on this edge patch. He's got 3 here. I have messaged Reynor about this mistake he makes after the early game and how this loses him a lot of mining. This is gonna result in 2 things, guys. This mineral patch here is gonna mine out a lot faster, which means he's only gonna be able to mine with 14 out of 16 from about 7 minutes. It also means this patch is gonna mine out way slower. So when the others mine out at 8.5 minutes, standard timing, that one's gonna last for many minutes longer than that. It just makes your transfers of workers a bit more inconsistent, and losing that mineral patch a bit early just loses you a bit of mining. It's not a crazy issue, but it does add up. And right now, just the fact that these 3 workers, you can see they're waiting, taking turns to mine when this mineral patch is wide open, does add up. Reynor has corrected it in his more recent games. Hopefully we don't see too much of that in this series. Roach Warren, no ling speed. Oh, okay. Just going to try and hold the frontal push with Roaches. That's a good way to do it. I think Roaches is not a bad choice on this map. The problem is, if you go Roaches, do you take this 4th? I think he might be tempted to. And that gets really weird because it's just hard to keep that middle base up. 2 Hellions and a Reaper coming forward. There's going to be Cloak Banshee off 3cc for Cure. Very chilled out opening, but I've seen guys like Reynor and Solar sometimes just run away with the early game recently against this sort of opening. Also, 6 Roaches. Is there a way you could sneak those across the map? Probably not. There's only 4 Queens in this game, remember? One of them in the main injecting there, or should be injecting now. And these 3 Queens at the front, which he's going to have to pull back to inject the natural in the 3rd every now and then. The Roaches just kind of gathering. And I think knowing this is probably Alien Banshee play moving in, or moving out with those Roaches, not a good idea, because it would leave him wide open to Hellion run-bys. First Banshee comes down the left side. 2nd and 3rd barracks will go down here. And you can see the factory's building the reactor. For that 3rd barracks, we'll see Stim start up in the near future. First of all, 3rd and 4th gas. Stim pack, and then double engineering bay will go down in the next 15 seconds. Let's go to Cure's map vision, see where his attention is. There we go, double engineering bay goes down. Textbook opening, he'll put workers on gas in a moment. Hellions are just looking for any exposed creep tumors, not really finding anything. Very chilled out play. One of the things you'll notice with Cure, he's not as active with his Hellion Banshee harassment. Not as desperate. Oh, he went to build engineering bays again. And he realized at the last second, wait, I just built those engineering bays. Thought only I made that mistake. Been a fair few ZVTs where I'm busy microing my Hellion Banshee, and when I'm done with that phase of the game, I look back and I have 4 engineering bays, and I go, whoops. 4th and 5th barracks goes down now. He does start +1 weapons, +1 armor starts. The depot's being lowered. And now that his 2 bases are saturated, the gases are ready. Oh, actually, he forgot to rally to the gas, didn't he? Now he rallies to the gas. Okay. Dude, the macro looks a little bit chaotic this game. I don't like how disorganized that looked, considering how few distractions there were on the map. Banshees are going to cloak and drive through. Carapace coming in early. Link speed as well. He's going to rotate towards the main. Watch out! Well-prepared defenses for REYNOR, and the cloaked Banshee's doing nothing. Hive's already on the way! What is this? 6-minute hive? So he's just going to have a handful of roaches, which he can make into Ravagers. Doesn't even make roach speed. He's just going to play double upgrade Ling Bane here into probably fast ultras, or at least Viper and Adrenal Glands. Dude, Grainer's builds are so sick, man. 10 more drones. He's got 4th base up on the right side. Oh my lord. Q, you're going to have to get something done in the near future, mate. Looks like 8 barracks. Armory. Okay. All right. 6 gases as well. 8 barracks. I think he's going to go straight for Marauders off of this. We know an 8 barracks with Marauders is really scary. That 2-2 timing is usually very frightening, but I do think an early Viper or 2 will make it tough for his siege tanks to really help out. Banshees on the right side. So much creep out here. At least the Banshees do find the active tumor. Gets a few creep tumors here. Nothing to write home about. There are 3 Ravagers, 3 Roaches, a handful of Zerglings. Got a Spore Crawler in the main, but he needs this creep tumor to spread over, does REYNOR. If he has these 2 spores on the edge, there's no way drops can get in there at all. And he's already closed off this edge really well. So this is, I would call this a misstep, not having these spores further out. Oh, hatchery got misplaced. He had to cancel it and rebuild it. Q is going to come in on the 4th, but Spore and a Queen are ready. 2 Vipers, Adrenal Glands, +2 Carapace almost immediately. Pretty much in line with the +2 attack of Terran. Tech Labs are building. The Ravagers, Roaches, and Zerglings push back these guys. Should be able to replace the creep here. This is one of the most important areas for REYNOR to keep his creep active, and yet it's not really done so. His creep's going up north really well. This side, he's not replacing it. Where? I guess his Queens are distracted by the Banshees. He should tell this Queen to skip and inject, or get this creep tumor going there. This creep tumor also. Once the fighting starts in the middle stage, I do notice REYNOR freezes up on his creep pretty hard these days. He doesn't really focus on it. To be fair, he focuses on the more important things, so I'm not saying it's a terrible idea, but it is just a feature. Something he could be aware of. Ling Run By would be great. Here comes this 8 Rex, guys. Concussive, tanks, Marines, Marauders. So many units. The Ling Bane wrapping around. Honestly, REYNOR should just give this base up. Just try to delay him a bit, but give this base up. He's let Q get there. He's going to go for the surround. Viper's going in. He blinding clouds a bunch of the tanks. The Banelings looking for the Marines. Can they connect? The stutter set for Cure is very essential. Does end up cleaning up a lot of the Banelings without getting hit on the bio, but the tanks get cleared. Is that enough for REYNOR to survive? Dead even in the army supply. Roach Ravager, Ling Bane coming forward. The bio needs to be careful here, man. He's got some Banshees to cover him, though. He's going to pick up, drop a little further back. More tanks and bio on the way. Ultra Cavern coming in. I think he should just send all of his Lings to hit the rally point right now. But it looks like he might go for a surround one more time. Those Lings in the top left of our screen getting ready for it. And he's going to go for it. Especially if he brings the Queens in, an Overseer in as well. No Overseers are available right now. He doesn't have any detection except the Spore Crawler. The Lings are going to intercept the rally point, catching a bunch of Marauders. Really nicely done by Ray. But finally, that Overseer arrives. The Banshees are going to go down. The Lings come in for the surround. Blinding Cloud as well. Parasitic Bomb would have been brilliant. And he did actually get one off. Takes the Banshee out with it. Kira a little bit slow on the dodge there. And REYNOR holds with flying colors. 5th base is up. He's got his own 2-2 now. He's only on 73 drones, so he did lose a lot of workers on this expansion, which does mean his economy is not as crazy, but it's a 3-base all-in. You do not need to build drones. Just keep on smashing these pushes, and I think you will win this game as REYNOR. Massive Ling run by. He's got Adrenal Glands, 1-2 upgrades. The 2-2 bio in too small a numbers to really take a good fight there. And you can see just how many SCVs go down in that third. That is a savaging, beautiful play there by REYNOR. But does he have enough to defend the frontal push? Like I said, giving this base up is still a very valid decision. The Vipers, the Lings, the Banes, and the Roaches are going to roll forward. Great Blinding Cloud. These tanks are just not able to do what they need to do. The Banelings exploding on Kew's face. And with Lings in his third, Kew has no choice as his desperate 8 racks all in gets shut down to pull back and give it up. REYNOR simply got away with too efficient a start. And I have to bring back what I said at the start. We have seen recently the best defensive Zergs, REYNOR and Solar, are running away with games against Heli and Banshee. I don't know what you need to do as Terran to get more of a response there. You've seen Roaches, you've seen Queens. Heli and Banshee seems like a safe way to play against that, but it feels like REYNOR just like gets into the advantage so easily, takes no drone losses. That map's really hard for Banshees to kind of get in the back because there's no airspace. There's that air wall. And then it's like, he's just like, bam, 6-minute hive, let's go. And it's just hard to deal with Vipers being on the map that early. All right, guys, we got Kira in the bottom left side of the map, REYNOR in the top right. Oh man, that was Kira's map pick. He picked Mothership first. I actually don't think Mothership's that good for Terran. I think it's decent for Terran. I don't think it's like god tier for Terran. And Old Republic, I think, is awful for Terran against Zerg. I think REYNOR, if he can get, 3 base muter up, he'll be good. Now, this is going to be, I think, a 2-Rax Reaper pressure opening, which I actually think is legitimately awful on this map. I wouldn't mind 1-Rax. I think 1-Rax is okay. And just go a few Marines and try to snipe the Overlord, right? But he's sending, no, he's going to go 2-Rax. How is... Okay, the advantage of 2-Rax Reaper is you might disrupt his opening, slow down his third, number 1. Number 2, you're going to have a 2-Rax follow-up, which is good against muter builds. There are advantages to this. And I mean, you don't want to let REYNOR just be super greedy, but it's such a big map. I feel like he can get away with it anyway. It's a pull first for REYNOR. I think he's worried about Proxy Marine. I think he figured, you know what? This map's favored for me. Let's be safe. Let's build a couple Zerglings to run around and try to cancel the command center or kill the SCV on it at least. And this is also going to keep me really safe against proxy barracks. Is this live, Pig? Well, as Tyrannodon says, this game is actually going to be played tomorrow, but Pig, he recorded this video last night. So yeah, that's correct. Oh, it's Bong Cloud, old school Bong Cloud. Old school Bong Cloud. I've actually been doing this a lot recently, guys. This is actually such a good opening at low GM. I kid you not, I have murdered so many Zergs with this opening where I go for you basically build a few Marines, wait for the Overlord to come in too deep, which REYNOR, unfortunately for Cure is not taking that risk. He's leaving in a safe spot. And then you run across to their third with like 8 Marines and an SCV, and you build a bunker at their third and you kill their third base. Well, and because it's gasless, your expand timing is not too bad behind it. Problem, the Zerglings might catch these Marines. This could get really weird. 6-Lings come in. REYNOR has no idea what he's up against right now. This is the OG Bong Cloud, guys. It's a good build order. I mean, it's not. It's kind of a dumb build order, but it's kind of glorious as well. he sees the Marines. If he sees the command center, he might be chill, but without seeing the command center, REYNOR's like, what is this? What is this? What's his reaction going to be? He doesn't have gas. He's playing gasless. REYNOR's going to have to play Roaches in the follow-up to this. I think because he figures this map's favored for Zerg, and muters are so good on it, just play safe Roaches instead, because Terrans are all going to try to like all in you and stuff. He's thinking of going to the third, but I think because he's been spotted, Q has realized that might be a silly idea. And he actually comes back, gets a few Zerglings. Does he join up the Marines and go? I want to see him go to that third base. I legit want to see Q be brave. Just send the SCV, just go to the third, and then shoot it once and walk home. So yeah, get active, hunt, or get this Overlord if he sees it. He hasn't seen that Overlord yet, it's a problem. And he's worried about Ling speed coming out. REYNOR built more Zerglings? Guys, he doesn't even have Ling speed. Why did he build Zerglings? What's REYNOR doing? He needs a Roach Warren, mate. REYNOR's panicking. I'm telling you, Bong Cloud is such a bad build that people don't know what to do against it. They're not used to a guy just going for a 2-Rax Marine pressure and expanding and playing a normal build behind it. They lose their mind. He's building mass slow Zergling right now. Q has got a third command center about to finish, mate. It's working. It's working, man. He's massing slow Zerglings. He's so paranoid because he doesn't know this command center. Oh, man. Dude, yeah, REYNOR, he's building a Rotor and a second gas because he thinks there's some sort of Marine SCV all incoming or something. He has no idea what's happening. Don't get me wrong, Zerg economy is a bit more flexible than Terran, but with such a fast double eBay, Q is setting up for a sick 8 racks finishing push. Mohai did this build against me, lost 50 MMR for his trouble, says Arky. I mean, it dies to a lot of random stuff. Like, if the Zerg literally is making Ling speed and then just makes Ling Bane, they often can kill a build like this, right? Like, they could just bust you half the time. Because you don't have any scouting as Q. You're totally blind. He has no idea what REYNOR's doing right now. And REYNOR's going to do a Ravager Ling all-in. There's no tank. Honestly, 1-1 upgrades might kick in by the time the Roaches get here. If he can buy enough time to get 1-1 and have like 20 Marines with Stim and 1-1 maybe. The problem is there won't be any tanks or medevacs yet. 3cc double eBay is vulnerable right now. REYNOR is like, well, I'm committed. I have to go all in now. He's going to take a third gas as well. He wants as many Ravagers as possible. How many Roaches does he have left? 6. He wants to try to make 8 Ravagers. REYNOR might be able to kill him with this because there's no bunker. If there was a bunker, or if Q had any idea what was happening, if he'd snuck an SCV out and saw no drones on the third or dropped a scan or something, maybe. Okay, Q has one Marine stuck on the outside. Oh, God, his Stim's vulnerable. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. Oh, God, the SCVs need to get pulled. Good SCV pull. The Bile's going to try to land on the Marines, but oh, my God. And to quote the wise words of a very intelligent commentator, it's working! Oh my God! To be fair, I do think this was the greediest possible follow-up you could do. 3cc and double engineering bay before anything else. And he had the bad spawn with the add-on on the outside. Oh, that's hard, man. That's hard. If he loses Stim, it's really bad as well. Well played by REYNOR. REYNOR's up 2-0. All right, guys, going on to the next one. It's Tourmaline. Wait, what is the veto system in this tournament? Why are we playing Tourmaline now? Oh, actually, no, that's the Terran map pick. But still, shouldn't... Actually, yeah, I think Tourmaline's really good for ZVT. Never mind, it is Q's map pick. This does make sense, guys. REYNOR's in the bottom left, Q is in the top right. He's going to go 2 racks Reaper this time, I believe. I doubt he does the Marine build again. That was a really fun opening, though. As much as he just died, if he had, like, another 30 seconds, everything comes together. But it is what it is. Whew. Alright, so he's going to go Barracks, Gas, yeah. He's doing the same build. He's doing the same build. I can't believe this, guys. I didn't even see these games. And I've been doing this build. I can't even remember what inspired me to do it. But I was struggling in ZVT. And I felt like I needed just kind of a dumb, simple opening that my opponents aren't used to playing against and gets them confused. And I was like, this is going to be good because I can snipe the Overlord, threaten the third, and actually have a decent economic response behind it. I've just got to accept the fact that I'm always going to be a bit vulnerable to kind of a Zerg who does just go all in. Yeah. If he hadn't have died, he would have lived. Pretty much, man. It's crazy like that. Gasless opening. Was this a 15-15, guys? I wasn't paying attention at the start. Pool started 30 seconds. Yeah, this is a 15-15. Cool, old school. Now, does REYNOR build the 2 Zerglings? Probably not, but he'll have his queens out early enough. I think seeing this, he'll stay on 2 base, and he'll build like 4 to 6 queens and just defend with queens and not build any Zerglings. Because normally the advantage of the 15-15 is your pool is so early, you get your 2 queens up about 15, 14, 13, I don't know, 13? What do you get? It is like 13, 14 seconds faster than normal. It's very early. And he sees the Marine, a bit slow to pull around. He's going to pull to the pillar. And I think he gets to that quite easily, which will force one of these barracks to lift off. He was going to do that immediately. Command center starts. It only delays the command center about 30 seconds, which is pretty sick. Cura, of course. Oh, the Overlord wasn't even correctly positioned. He didn't even need the barracks. Guys, whenever they hide like that, remember, this is a directional sight blocker, so he should have already sent a Marine to the left earlier. The other day, I saw Heroes stand there with a Stalker. The Overlord just flew away. And by the time the Oracle came to spot the pillar, he was like, oh, where is it? And I'm like, dude, this is why you patrol your unit so that you're looking at both sides of the pillar so they can't just fly away while you're waiting for the spotter. Yeah, he's going to go Roach Warren and a third queen this time. Okay, yeah, I think that's fine. Because Kua wants to, like I said, build that bunker, try and cancel the third. And he's going to find a 15-15, which is well prepared against this. He's going to go for a 4-racks Marine SCV all in afterwards. SCV pulls pretty good against Roach style, actually. All right. He's just going to hang around. Doesn't see any overlords outside the base, and he will go home. Stim has started. He'll go for a second tech lab and combat shields, and this one... I don't think he builds a reactor, right, guys? I think he just builds Marines off of the second barracks in the main. 6 roaches, excuse me, are building off just 29 workers. It's pretty quick to go 6 roaches. I thought he'd drone up a bit harder, realizing queens can defend you quite nicely. But I think Reynor's just like, look, this might be a Marine SCV all in. He looks kind of desperate. Yeah, and indeed it is what we said. So just Marines, because he's got to get about... So you see, Stim takes a lot longer than shields. So he needs to start shields the moment he gets 100 gas. Come on. There we go. 80 seconds till he wants to be fighting. So just after 5 minutes is when he wants to be fighting with these Marines. Ravagers are poking. Oh, he's going to try and deny Stim. But I think this time the SCVs can repair it. And the Marines could get outside as well. Q is actually going out front. Oh, his SCV just saw the Roach. That's why. Okay, so he's going to try and secure this with a bunker. Roach Ravager pressure. How many Ravagers he got? Just one. Already one Roach taking big damage. Can try to use the Ravager Biles, but Kua should easily, I think, dodge the Biles. And once Stim finishes, he can Stim on top and ruin your army. With only one Ravager, you can't really out-micro this very well as Reynor. He does have a second gas coming up. He's going to take the front hatchery. Ooh, okay. Lair is on the way for Reynor. Going to go 3 gases. Can't really afford a Carapace. He wants the Carapace. That might be a trap. Does Kua commit to the SCV pool? I think so. Otherwise, I think he would have built an add-on on that 4th barracks by now. SCV pool? Does he do it? Yeah, he does. All right, he's going to pull how many is that, guys? That's, I think that's like 12. It's like 12. Yeah, 12 SCVs. It's going to be a really good buffer. 5 more Roaches are building. Reynor needs to give this base up. He needs to fall back. And remember, there's no Medivacs. Every time Kua stims, he cannot heal. Concussive Shell's going to be ready in a few seconds. Combat Shields is done, as is Stim. It's a massive push. Lots of Roaches, lots of Ravagers. Big Bile. It's a good Bile. Zones him. He's gonna pull his drones. Reynor's hiding behind the hatchery right now. Trying to make more Ravagers. I don't think he's going to get them up in time. Oh, he's got to try and pull away. Got to try to bait these Stims where possible. Drones are going to pull into the fight. Drones do get blocked behind. It's a good amount of Roach Ravager. The SCVs are mostly gone by now. The Marine Marauder has really good firepower, though. Really good firepower. The Roach Ravager trying to fight it out. He's got to try and kite against this. Remember, I think you don't want to fight pitched battles because you want to let him stim himself to death. But Reynor, he pulled the drones into the fight, and I think if you gift the Terran one big battle, that's a mistake. Concussive is a problem. I think he might have been able to defend that because he had a lot of Roaches. So I think the correct technique here, guys, is bait the Stim early. If he doesn't Stim, I think he's going to struggle to hunt you down. Now, maybe the problem would be if he Concussive Shells you, tags 2 or 3 Roaches, and doesn't Stim, you lose units on the retreat. But I think you want to try and maybe start the fight out here and then run while he's Stimming. I'm not sure. I'd need to like really test it thoroughly. But I think my feeling, and you guys let me know, is you want to force a Stim out there, fall back, force a second Stim, and fall back and keep stutter stepping. Pulling into this area really hurt him because he couldn't get a concave. But I think in general, you just don't want to fight into a single Stim. The fact that Kua got to Stim once and have maximum firepower for the entire duration of that Stim, I think is really tragic. I think you've got to force the Stims out. That's the big weakness of these pushes. The fact that he only just needed to use a second Stim then is crazy. GG, really nice game there for Kua. Well played. All right, guys. Reynor in the top left side of Winter Madness, Kua in the bottom right. And Kua finally gets a point on the board. Much needed kind of ability to push Reynor back into the trouble zone. I do think maybe Reynor could have held, but it's really hard, those all ends. It's really, really hard. Got to kite those Marines down, I feel like. Now, what is this guy? Is it Proxy Hatch? REYNOR. Doesn't look like a Captain D head. I mean, he's checking for proxy barracks on his way across the map. I think he thinks Kua doesn't have much faith in playing a normal game against him. And he might just go for a Captain D head. But it looks like he wants to build a hatchery. Oh, he's going to hatch block. This is sick. Didn't he do this versus, was it Maru or someone the other week? Oh, this is cool. I can't wait to see how this goes. Because, guys, that's hatch first. This is not like he went pool first or like hatchery at home and this is a third hatch. This is hatch first. Question is, does he build a spawning pool? Oh, he's going to go gas pool. Okay. Otherwise, a Reaper can come across and kill a bunch of your workers, so that's fair. This is always... Okay, so dealing with this with Terran is a nightmare. I lose to this so much because the Zerg can literally commit nothing, just build a hatchery and drone up, or he can like flood Lings and build a spine or two and even try to siege your wall down with an Overlord spotting the high ground and build like 2 queens and spread creep here and all sorts of stuff. Bunker on the low ground is always the wrong response. That's the one thing I know. If you're going to build a bunker on the low ground, you need to build it here so it's next to where the queens and Zerglings pop so you kill them as they pop. Otherwise, they can pop out and run to safety, number 1. Number 2, low ground's always the wrong response. You can do this only if you're planning to abandon it and you're just doing it to bait the Zerg into overcommitting to Zerglings. Problem is, this hatchery, because it's hatch first, it's not going to die till like 2 or 3 Marines. It's going to take forever, and he can just build a ton of Zerglings and build Lings from home and basically just surround the bunker and kill everything on the low ground. So yeah, he's going to do this as a bait, it looks like, which I think is a valid strategy. Problem, he's playing double gas on 1 base. Oh, what the... Okay, so he's going to purposely keep this low economy. Kua. The problem is, if you have a command center, I get it. With no command center, isn't this second bunker a bit too early as well? And does he go reactor now or what? Oh, wait, he thinks this is like an all-in cheese. He's like, you're going to build spines. But there could easily be a hatchery up at home. You have no idea. You have no idea. And this is actually one of the later hatcheries that REYNOR's gone for because he's seen the bunker. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kua's got more mining right now. It's not the end of the world. But if he loses all of his Marines on the low ground, with Ling speed finishing at about 325, you need to abandon this bunker soon. So I guess he's got to go. Queen and Zerglings engage. SCV gets targeted by the Queen. Notice how Q has targeted the Zerglings, not the Queen, to make sure they're shooting the high damage units. Ooh, and these Lings get wrecked. That was a lot of Lings going down. This might have been a decent trade for Q, right? Maybe? Units lost tab, pretty even between both sides, but at the end of it, there's a creep tumor, a Queen, a bunch of Zerglings, and you have no idea if Rain is droning or not while he's got an expansion up. I think this is a disaster for Q. I mean, I guess he gets a Cyclone, a few Marines in a medevac, and he can pick this off. But I don't know, man. That Cyclone needs to move forward, by the way. The Overlord's actually going to be gift wrapped for him, I believe. Especially if he brings the medevac out to spot it. Just going to lock onto the Queen first, push her back. And then that Overlord, of course, will try to run away. Plenty of Zerglings down here. He's going to go one-base battle cruiser. What is Q doing, guys? He's going to go one-base BC. He's like, there's no way you can defend a BC, man. But it's going to be so late. And he's just started the command center. I've never seen someone try to respond to this on one base, guys. This is so odd. I feel like guys like Jason, who've played like a decade and a half of degenerate North American ladder against low IQ NA Zergs like me, they've played against this so many times. They played against Cat so many times. I bet he's watching this going, well, this is not the way you respond. This is dumb. Like, what are you doing, Cure? Have you not played against Cat's proxy hatch block? Like, what the hell, man? Oh, get some damage on the Queen. Not enough to kill her just yet. She doesn't inject that. He's even droning this base a little bit. Cheeky bugger, mate. Ah, now you lose the Queen. You lose your only anti-air. That is costly. REYNOR does not realize, though, he might lose to this friggin' BC, man. If he doesn't build any more... And the thing is, you naturally should be building more Queens now, because you got a third hatchery at home. You are building more. BC's going to come out when there's 4 Queens, right? Because he should be building another Queen, surely. He's going to start Spores. He's like, you're on one base for a long time. He's probably thinking Cloaked Banshee. But this is correct, because it'll also help against BCs. BCs take massive damage from the new Spore Crawler. They kill it pretty quickly. But that alone is not always enough. Ling's going to try to get that Cyclone to pick up. Overlord will go down. Saves the Cyclone. Nice move there for Cure. Got a few aliens. Clean up the 2 drones on the natural. Oh, he's got to be careful about getting surrounded, though. It's going to be real careful. There is a 4th queen building at home. This creep is there. Oh, the aliens get surrounded. Cure, no. Oh my god, that's what happens to me every time I play as the Terran. I always make that mistake. I did not think Cure would make that mistake. Raynor has to be having, he must have a big smile on his face. The BC's out. It's all in. It's all in. It's going to go, 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 go. But it's teleporting up with the Spore. He's going to fly away from the Spore right now. Fly away from the Spore. Can he kill the queens? Raynor, a little bit slow to react. Can he pull the queen away? No, he can't. She's going to die. He's going to build more spores. He's going to build like 3 spores in each base. Keep building queens. And the thing is, it's a 1-base Terran. So you need to like go around the edge and try to like pick off more drones or something. You got to do more. You can't just, you know, yeah, okay. Maybe he can kill the hatchery. That's not bad. Maybe go for the spore crawler that's building. Yeah, he's going to try and kill one of the spores that's building. Pick off some drones from the edge. Good damage, good damage. Oh, he went to the low ground and got surrounded again. No, not like this, bro. Okay, finally. He's trying to morph the Hellbats to secure that natural, but Cure losing all those Hellions. Dude, imagine if he could get Hellbats out here, secure the natural, clear the creep, and start going to 3 bases behind this. Because Reynor's kind of in a scuffed position, trying to just slowly get these queens out 1 or 2 at a time. He's waiting to get more gas. He wants to get a Spire to properly deal with the BC. Yamato and a 2nd BC are about to arrive. Lings are going to surround. Hellbats are so good against Zerglings. Like, he wants the SCV. Oh, you killed the creep tumor. Cure! He had to use a 2nd scan because he didn't kill the creep tumor. The Lings distracted him. Raynor has been a little bit vocally dismissive of Cure in the past, saying that Cure is like a pretty smart player, but at the end of the day, he just can't keep up with the other Terran and Zerg players at the top. And I think, honestly, it is a cool kind of... It is a correct analysis. Like, there are pro players who are clearly not as fast as others. I don't think Q is lightning fast. And Reynor's put him in a position where he's got to, like, micro these units almost instantly, reactively, all the time. Spire's on the way, Roach Warren as well. BC's trying to float around and clear up. The Overlord's even doing a dump on this base. Look at that. Dropped his trousers. He's blocking the base. Creep will recede now that the battle cruiser's there, but so annoying. And look at this creep spread that he spread backwards. Reynor's on 2 bases. He's got a big Ling run by available. There is a BC, 2 BCs even at home. And this command center, it's 8 minutes and he's still not got it there. Still not got it landed. Building a Viking and a Cyclone now. I think Q is realizing, hey, I better get off BCs. He's clearly going to go Corruptors. I got to be ready for that. He's seen the lair, hasn't seen much else. Scans to clear the creep. Well played. Raynor plays like someone who's hard stuck diamond, who says dumb stuff in the chat to distract you from how cheesy he is. But he's also one of the best players in the world while still having that playstyle. I think at the core of who he is, yeah, fun, cheesy builds and constant Ling run buys and dirty BS is kind of at the core of Reynor's love for the game. But he has become a very well-rounded macro player, despite being a bit light on the scouting, and that being kind of a perpetual weakness of his. I think he's so good it almost doesn't matter. Roach Queen is here. Hellions ain't going to find anything. Corruptors hunting for the BCs. He sees him now. Corruptors are heading in that direction. Queens can immediately respread the creep. And these BCs need to teleport out. Yamato and teleport. Yamato and teleport. Oh my gosh. Teleport. Get out. Oh my lord. It does get 2 Corruptors. That's the BC tax that we talk about, guys. With Terran player just gets to pick off units and run back and repair over and over again. But he's not repairing this time. And I gotta say, that feels like a bit of a mistake. Feels like it's very high priority, because if those Corruptors dive in right now, that's a juicy target right there. What are we doing, bro? Just 1 SCV to repair. No? Okay, there we go. Now he pulls the harem. 4 SCVs to tug him off at once. Does make sense. We'll get him repaired up. 2 tanks on the way at a time. Vehicle weapons. Equal work account for both sides. It's fascinating. I think Reynor's like not expecting the 3rd, maybe? Because he's not taking a 4th. He's just making Roach Ravager, Ling Corruptor. And to be fair, it will hit a pretty nasty timing. Problem is the Lings are going to wash up on the Hellbats. Obviously, even with the turret, the Corruptors are going to ruin. 10 Corruptors wreck the air. There's not enough tanks yet, though. He just needs like 2 or 3 more tanks, and he needs them to focus the Roaches if possible. Roach speed is done. It's all about defending now. Can Cure defend this attack? Because the economy is not bad for him. He's got a few turrets, which will help out a lot. Does Cure sense what's about to happen? Pulling SCVs could really help here. I think he's got to pull the SCVs. There we go. Roach is coming in. Lings are on the right side. Lings getting through to the tank there. Hellbats go the wrong way around the barracks in the top right. One of the battle cruisers has already fallen. The tanks are about to go down. They're both down, those siege tanks. The battlecruiser teleports across the map, hoping to find an undefended base. It finds a spore crawler and a queen waiting for it. And this was a brilliant push here for REYNOR. Gets so much damage. BC does take a queen kill and then tries to fly away, but fly away, fly away, fly away. Goes into the mist there, like Enya in a music video, and that battlecruiser will disappear. Vehicle plating's on the way as well. Corruptor's going to come in, going to maybe go for some wee-wee, looking for some BCs, but you can see the starport swapped now to Vikings. Turrets in the main as well. Vikings are getting jumped on at the same time. The Hellbat's trying to defend on the front. Hellbat tank doing a better job that time, but so many Vikings just got picked off. 3 Vikings, and now he spreads. He says UP on that building, UP on that building. 4 different buildings, all the production buildings are getting killed. He's only got 1 Cyclone. The Cyclone's like, get up there, bro, get up. He's trying to lock on. Okay, so he does take out 1 Corruptor. The Vikings need to help out. The building's trying to get repaired here, but the Toxic P-Stream is already on top, and 2 tanks are going to get on top of him at the same time. Or the Ravagers do take out the 2 tanks, sorry, is what I was trying to say there. The Corruptors mostly go down. It looks like 2 of them do survive. More Ravagers trying to morph. The tank's going to need to siege. The landed Vikings trying to turn into budget Marauders right now. They do not get a bonus against any Zerg units. Zerg units are not mechanical, even if they're using the mechanical skins. And he's going to have to try and defend Cure in survival mode. REYNOR's still only on 54 workers with no 4th. Which means his main's half made out, his natural as well. He's starting an Evo. REYNOR, where's the 4th base, bro? I feel like REYNOR, in between these attacks, could have done a big round of drones, a 4th or 5th base. But he's really doing it very slowly. He's going to go Infestation. Question, guys, do you think that's for Swarm Hosts or is it for Hive? Yeah, shockingly, Cure seems like he's in an acceptable position, says Giant Orange. I could not agree more. I feel like he should be dead, right? And this is a very playable spot. He's got a Liberator, a few Vikings clearing up the Overlords. Both of their bases are mining out, which I think it might favor Zerg because it's a bit easier for Zerg to stretch out to a 4th, a 5th, a 6th base here. Whereas for the Terran, it's going to be hard. And 11 Swarm Hosts, yeah. Traditional mech is very weak to Swarm Hosts. Trad mech, traditional mech guys, is Hellbats, tanks at the core of it. Potentially Thors. Not a lot of Cyclones or anything like that. Cyclone, Hellion, Banshee is more mobile. Can shut down Swarm Hosts' mobility on the map. Can deny Nidus Worms really well. Curious had 4,000 in the units lost. I think losing the BCs, if he'd kept the BCs alive, he'd actually be in a pretty good spot. But look at the supply now. Swarm Hosts, remember, are 3 supply each, very chunky units in terms of how much supply they waste. Roaches and Ravagers also 2 supply, 3 for the Ravagers. These units are not as efficient as the supply makes out. Like, they're not really worth their supply cost. So REYNOR has to go find damage with them sooner rather than later. Aliens could run in on this side. He's only got 2 queens there. Transfusing is just 2 corruptors. Stallions. Who needs blue flame when you got 5? But the roaches are nearby. Just gonna grab 4 drones for, I think, 3 Hellions. Good trade for REYNOR. And look how close he gets to this locust wave. The trick is you move command it past, and then you manually tell them to land on different units. REYNOR, a little sloppy on the land micro there, I gotta say. A little sloppy on the landing, Mike. I think he could have landed those a bit tighter on those siege tanks. Got himself one or 2 tanks there. Not bad. For a guy who's built 16 Swarm Hosts, though, he's going to need to make sure the moment they're ready, off cooldown, he throws it again. Keeps on repeating that. Imagine Swarm Hosts at 2 supply, though, says Handyman. You don't need to imagine. Go watch my run in the Patches Invitational. Swarm Hosts are not only 2 supply, you can get an upgrade where Locusts attack air. I also got the upgrade at Hive Tech where Roaches become 1 supply. Let's just say my mech opponents weren't too happy fighting 1 supply roaches and 2 supply swarmos. I had a good time. I had a good time winning that tournament. Hellbats and tanks trying to defend right now. The Locusts, though. Oh, the Locust Bile combo. Only 3 tanks left in the back. That was a great trade for REYNOR. Look at this. Look at the units lost. He was down like 4,000 or 5,000. Now he's only down 3,000. So we actually traded efficiently there. Those Swarmos, it's going to keep throwing those free units. Oh, by the way, this will probably be on Pigstarcraft. Someone was saying, stop calling Swarmos free units. You're an idiot. You're spreading propaganda, making it so the Swarmos could never be good. And they had this whole rant about it. They were saying they're not. They cost 3 supply, 100 minerals, 75 gas. And I'm like, does he realize? The free unit is the Locust, not the Swarmos. It's these Locusts dying doesn't really matter other than the tempo loss. And look at that. Drops them in a bit of a clump. Not the best. He should have spread them across those 2 tanks, but it doesn't matter. 3 tank kills when you've got Mass Ravager on the front door. REYNOR is going to grind him down with Roach Ravager. What an interesting series of games. I would say overall, a pretty one-sided series, guys. But as REYNOR breaks through the door here... Actually, is he going to hold? Surely not. He's trying to build Cyclones because he wants a more mobile army that can push back the Swarm Hosts like I was talking about. He's going to lock on there to one of those Swarm Hosts. It's like, how dare you sit right outside my base? But yeah, the Locusts are the free units. Obviously, Swarm Hosts cost money. Most importantly, they cost supply, which is why you need to get damage done pretty frequently to make the Swarm Hosts worth it. Otherwise, if your opponent gets ahead of the curve, they will get out of control. But Swarm Hosts actually do have a very good utility against mech, against charge lot, rather than blink openings. I think they've got a good spot in the meta, personally. I think Swarm Hosts are much better than they used to be in terms of having a balance of a unit that's useful, but it's not an every time unit. And you don't need every unit to be an every time unit. You just need it to be a sometimes unit. There's just too many Swarmos, man. Orbitals are burning. Yes, he's got a new orbital on the left as well, but Cure just didn't see the Swarmos coming. He was so trapped in his corner. Like I said, if he had those 2 BCs out still, he could be like scouting more, figuring out what's happening, and he could have pivoted into more Cyclone Hellion earlier to try and push the Zerg back so he can't just sit outside your base sieging you like this. Locusts are going to come in. He's dropping them on the siege tanks, and look at the Locust damage, not to mention the friendly fire from the tanks. The Hellbats clear them up actually surprisingly quickly. The 2-2 mech army trying to hold on. And the 2-2 upgrades are fantastic against the +2 Zerg. But of course, finally a 5th base coming in. REYNOR's been really slow to expand, guys. His 3rd's half-mined out. His natural's half-mined out. His main's gone. He does need a 5th base and a 6th base very quickly. He's going to lose a Swarm Host there. He's trying to build more roaches. Finally, Cure pushes him back for a moment. Cure somehow is still not dead. Not dead? He's still not dead. I don't know what I was trying to say there. That was a word sound that came out of my mouth. Cyclone's going to pick off a few roaches. Watch out. I like Swarmos, but they take way too much micro. They do take a lot of micro to be valuable. It depends. I mean, at low levels, often I would opt for more of like run over here, throw them in, and just let them A-move a base. Run Locusts here, throw them in a base. But if your opponent's in position, definitely you do need to do quite a bit of micro. A lot of managing what those Locusts do to like land them on the tanks spread out to make sure they drag a lot of friendly fire and that sort of stuff. You got Dedged, man. Dedged is like when you get so dead that your body has already been dredged up from the bottom of the friggin' lake where they dumped you. Locust's gonna go on the tank. There's only 1 tank, so the Locusts aren't that effective anymore against the Hellbat Cyclone, but they still help. Waste a bunch of Hellbat attacks, absorb a bit of damage, and the Roach Ravager is just in such overwhelming numbers, spreading biles across everything that he's doing fantastically. Denying mining on the new 3rd base locations as well. You can see the Cyclones can kite a little bit longer, but they'll run out of room. Honestly, I think the Ravagers can just push them up against the wall here and smash them down. Cure with nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And REYNOR finishes off this series with a beautiful Proxy hatch build. Damn. Well, if you guys like this channel half as much as I like Proxy hatch builds, don't forget to check out my Patreon. If you can afford a few bucks to support the channel, it's a cool way to do so. There's some awesome perks. Its info is in the description as well as here. I've got to look at my camera feed to see. Click on the button, and a massive thanks to everyone who's already supporting. Especially, of course, our conductors of the D-Town Express, Peden N, Dragos R, Ivy, and Oko H, and not to mention Our one and only Leviathan, who's literally impregnating the channel with their passion. Ninjas Monkey, thank you very much for that Leviathan tier. We appreciate you all. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye and good night.